West Virginia, dubbed the Mountain State for its stunning mountain views, is a haven for nature lovers. The New River Gorge National Park stands as an iconic landmark with its majestic bridge that is a popular spot for base jumping. Additionally, West Virginia is home to amazing caves, like Organ Cave, making it no surprise that tourism is the state's largest source of income. However, beneath its natural beauty, West Virginia faces serious challenges, including severe poverty, low access to education and healthcare, and rising homelessness.
Working block by block. Shut up! Rounding up addicts.
Walk this way. Come on.
These issues highlight the paradox between the state's natural allure and its complex social realities. West Virginia is the 10th smallest state in the U.S., located in the Appalachian region and bordered by Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. With a population of about 1.79 million, its capital and largest city is Charleston. The state's charm lies in its stunning mountain ranges, rich history, and abundant opportunities for outdoor adventures. In fact, tourism plays a crucial role in its economy, contributing over $4.27 billion and employing more than 44,000 people. The New River Gorge Bridge, one of the longest steel arch bridges in the country, has become an enduring symbol of the state. Historically, West Virginia has a unique past, including its split from Virginia in 1863 during the Civil War. The state is also the birthplace of the first Mother's Day celebration, which took place in Grafton. With its blend of natural allure, historical significance, and innovative spirit, West Virginia stands as a unique destination in the United States. However, despite the state's many strengths, West Virginia faces severe challenges in its educational system, particularly in cities like Morgantown, which has experienced rapid growth. Although West Virginia University stands out as a center of academic excellence, the state as a whole faces concerning education statistics. Only 17.3% of adults in West Virginia hold a bachelor's degree, placing it at the bottom of the national rankings. In fact, a 2024 study by WalletHub ranked West Virginia's school system 46th out of 51 regions, well below the national average. The state's poor performance is reflected in dismal scores in mathematics and reading tests, as well as SAT averages. These educational challenges have long-term consequences, affecting not only the quality of life, but also the state's economic prospects. The younger generation, lacking the necessary skills, faces limited career opportunities, despite the growing potential in business centers like Morgantown, which has been recognized by Forbes as a promising business hub. West Virginia epitomizes a paradox. While the state offers incredible opportunities in terms of its natural beauty and untapped potential, it is simultaneously held back by a struggling education system. To ensure a brighter future, the state will need to undergo significant reforms that empower its people to fully harness the opportunities at hand. The state's low educational attainment clearly contributes to its persistently high poverty levels. While household incomes in West Virginia did see a modest increase, rising from $54,329 to $55,948 in 2023, it remains one of the lowest income states in the U.S., well below the national average of $80,610. This highlights a critical issue. Education and poverty are deeply interconnected. Data reveals a stark contrast. Only 5.2% of individuals with a bachelor's degree live below the poverty line, compared to a staggering 32.8% of those without a high school diploma. With just 17.3% of adults holding a college degree, West Virginia faces significant hurdles in improving the quality of life for its residents. The state's child poverty rate, while slightly improved from 25% in 2022 to 20.1% in 2023, remains one of the highest in the nation, ranking 8th out of all 50 states. This issue is particularly severe in vulnerable communities, where disparities are more pronounced. For example, the poverty rate among Black residents in West Virginia is a striking 30.2%, nearly double the state's overall rate. Women also face higher poverty rates compared to men, with 18.4% of women living in poverty versus 14.8% of men. This entrenched poverty highlights a vicious cycle. Inadequate education limits economic opportunities, which in turn perpetuates generational poverty. The high poverty rates in West Virginia are directly linked to a sharp rise in homelessness, with a growing number of individuals facing life on the streets. A landmark study on homelessness conducted in the state revealed that mental health disorders and substance abuse play a significant role in this crisis. In 2023, approximately 28,581 individuals sought access to shelters or permanent housing programs, with over 3/4 of them already living in homeless conditions. More than 58% of these individuals were men, and 13% were Black, far higher than the state's African American population, which is just under 4%. The majority of those experiencing homelessness are between the ages of 25 and 44, grappling with challenges such as domestic violence, unemployment, and difficulty accessing affordable housing. Substance abuse and mental health problems have become leading factors in pushing many residents into homelessness. West Virginia also suffers from the highest overdose death rate in the nation, with this grim statistic continuing to rise. The state's overdose death rate reached 77.2 per 100,000 people in 2021, more than twice the national average. While there are rehabilitation and outreach services available, they remain poorly distributed and inaccessible to many who need them most. A significant number of homeless individuals are concentrated in larger population centers that have more services, but they often feel isolated and unaware of how to access the help that exists. For example, although there are various addiction rehabilitation programs available, many residents are simply not informed that these services exist in their area. With more than 96,000 people experiencing homelessness in the state, improving access to these critical services and implementing more inclusive policies is essential to addressing the growing crisis. The challenges are vast, but only through systemic change and better resource distribution can West Virginia begin to reduce the numbers of those without homes and begin to offer them a way out of their difficult circumstances. West Virginia's healthcare system reveals another stark reality. Despite having one of the lowest rates of uninsured residents in the country, it ranks among the worst in the United States when it comes to health outcomes. Efforts to improve the situation, including initiatives to reduce the uninsured rate through programs like the Affordable Care Act, have not been enough to turn the tide. The state still struggles with some of the highest preventable death rates, with 126 deaths per 100,000 people, including deaths from conditions that could have been prevented, such as diabetes. A major barrier to better health care for residents is the high cost of medical care. Health insurance premiums in West Virginia are among the highest in the nation, averaging around $8,546 per year. This steep cost is a significant obstacle for many, especially those living in poverty or without stable employment. For these individuals, accessing necessary medical care becomes an enormous challenge, further exacerbating existing health issues and contributing to poorer overall health outcomes. The lack of access is compounded by social factors that negatively impact health, such as high rates of obesity, diabetes, and substance abuse disorders. These health issues not only reduce the quality of life, but also hinder residents' ability to participate in the workforce. Many people live in rural areas with limited healthcare services, and in some of these communities, 2/3 of the population struggles to access the care they need. To make matters worse, an aging population adds additional pressure on an already strained healthcare system, increasing the demand for services at a time when resources are already stretched thin. Another troubling aspect of West Virginia's struggles lies in its deteriorating infrastructure and declining business appeal, which only exacerbate the challenges facing its residents. According to a recent study by CNBC, the state ranks 46th in the nation for infrastructure quality, with an especially unreliable power grid. On average, residents experience power outages lasting 16.7 hours per year per household, a disruption that has a significant impact on daily life. Additionally, nearly 20% of the state's bridges are in poor condition, and over 13% of its highways are considered unsafe or unsuitable for travel. The state's business climate is similarly bleak, ranking 40th nationally in terms of its appeal to investors and companies. Poor infrastructure plays a major role in this, deterring potential businesses from operating in the state. One of the key factors is the lack of access to high-speed internet, particularly in rural areas, where only 30% of the population has access to reliable broadband. This lack of connectivity further compounds the state's workforce challenges, as a large portion of the population lacks the necessary skills for technology-driven industries. This makes West Virginia an unattractive location for growing tech companies, further limiting economic opportunities in the state. While the cost of living in West Virginia is relatively low, 12% below the national average, wages are similarly modest, with hourly pay rates ranking as the third lowest in the country. This presents a significant obstacle, particularly in an economy that has long been dependent on coal mining and natural resources, industries that have seen a sharp decline in recent years. The downturn in these traditional sectors has led to a shortage of jobs, especially in the fields that once formed the backbone of the state's economy.